We have all broken something and tried to soften the blow. You might tell a friend, "I didn't break it, I just forcefully disassembled it." It is a natural human instinct to use creative vocabulary to avoid looking bad. In formal argumentation, this habit has a name: the distinction without a difference fallacy. This occurs when an arguer defends their action or position by using careful language to separate it from something else, even when the underlying substance of both things is exactly the same. Under the rules of formal logic, this tactic violates what we call the acceptability criterion. An argument requires clear, acceptable premises to work. Relying on a confusing, deceptive label renders the premise unacceptable. To evaluate if an argument is actually sound, we have to look past the linguistic packaging and weigh the actual physical substance of the claim. Let's see how this operates in a relatable setting. Imagine a driver who ignores road signs and distracts the people in the vehicle. When called out on this, he argues, "I am not a bad driver. I just don't pay much attention to the road." This split-screen diagram compares his defense against the reality. On the left side, we have the objective traits of a bad driver, and on the right side, we have the driver's admitted traits. As we map his defense to reality, the behaviors align perfectly. Not paying attention to the road is the exact definition of the bad driving he is trying to distance himself from. Swapping out the vocabulary does absolutely nothing to alter the physical action behind the wheel or its real-world consequences. This tactic is highly common as camouflage in ideological debates. Take the historical and ongoing discussions surrounding feminism and traditional gender roles. This logic flowchart maps a specific, real-world argument. The arguer claims they have no serious disagreement with feminism. However, their supporting premise states that they firmly believe the man must be the head of the household. The core feminist perspective advocates for equality and the dismantling of male-dominated hierarchies. The arguer's substantive belief directly contradicts that principle, severing any logical connection between their stated position and reality. People construct these distinctions to diminish the social embarrassment of holding an unpopular or untenable position. It functions as a psychological defense mechanism rather than a valid logical argument. We see the most abstract application of this fallacy in debates over textual interpretation. Consider a radio preacher delivering a sermon. The preacher argues, "We must judge this issue strictly by what the text says, and not by what some scholar or theologian thinks it says." This graphic divides his claim. Pause the video here. Look at these two columns and try to identify why this linguistic distinction fails in practice. The flaw is that a book cannot speak for itself. Any time a text is read aloud, translated, or explained, even by the preacher, it requires a human to interpret it. Claiming you possess the uninterpreted truth of a document while dismissing others as merely interpreting it is a distinction without a difference. All reading is interpretation. Dismantle this systematically. Step 1, point out the identical substance. Step 2, ask for practical differences. Next, deploy Step 3, the absurd counterexample. Is their logic different from a student claiming, "I wasn't copying, just looking to jog my memory"? The physical act is identical. Mirroring flawed logic with an undeniable equivalent prevents getting dragged into the weeds of the specific topic. You attack the structural flaw directly. The rule is straightforward. Do not let fancy labels hide bad logic. If the real-world substance is identical, the argument is identical.